there we go. God knows what was happening there. If you're listening to this on audio, you're going to be thoroughly confused.
Yeah.
But basically, we pressed start and everything went to hell in a handcart, basically, within about 5 seconds. So hopefully you can all hear us. Hopefully you can all see us now. As I say, the audio listeners will think what the heck's going on, and it'll all seem hopefully okay to you guys due to the wonders of editing. But yes, hello and welcome to the 103rd episode of the SheGulls podcast, the one and only podcast dedicated to Brighton Hove Albion Women's football team.
Yep.
I'm your host, Duncan, and I am here tonight with Claire. Hello, Claire.
Bonjour. Or bonsoir, even.
Abby. Hello, Abby.
Hello.
Hey. No Ben tonight. He's got parental duties. So although he has prepared a statement for me to read out later, in regards
he has indeed.
In regards to the new kit, so we'll get to that obviously in due course, because he's not happy.
He's not a happy bunny,
gentlemen.
He's really not. And me and Abby did have quite a lot of fun at his expense for a whole day. I don't know if he's worked out that we were doing that, but it was funny.
I think at some point he noticed.
You think he got it?
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry,
at some
Ben.
point.
It was funny. It was fun.
Lightning strikes were mentioned.
Yeah.
I
think we just went through from because
awful.
They did that blue and white, white and blue and white was so I genuinely suggested, we might be having a half and half kit, and his reaction was so vehement that I think we just went right, and we were going quarters and like the Harlequins, and then all sorts of bits and pieces and lightning stripes, and it just got more and more ridiculous as the day went on. It was a lot of fun. It was fun.
Yes, yeah, it was just a bit of a laugh and a joke between friends, I think, isn't it? So if you can't, I always say, to friends and family, if you can't poke a little bit of fun at your friends and family, then who can you?
Exactly.
So we all take it in the right spirit. So yes, there we go. So yeah, we'll come on to the kits a little bit later and Ben's thoughts on that. We have had a little bit of news, so we're going to be talking about our new signing, Sophie Pescott, a little bit. We're going to be talking about the actual position groups. We're going to go through the position groups and give our sort of current grades on where we think they are, and how they might have been improved, or maybe they haven't been improved. We'll have to go through and see, and obviously that will bring up other topics of conversation, I'm sure. Then we've got right at the end a would you rather. So it's going to be a bit like the sort of would you rather fight 100 horse-sized ducks or one duck-sized horse or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's the premise of it all. But we've got an extra little wrinkle as well in there, which is called the Wheel of Misfortune. So you'll have to wait and see how that plays into things later on. But yes, I think we'll start on the sort of news, as it were, the biggest news that we've had since our last episode, which was we have made another signing, which is Sophie Pescott from Ipswich. From my understanding, a kind of right-sided midfielder / winger, likes to carry the ball, get into the box, take on players, things like that, which is all good news. Again, from my understanding, she was the sort of standout player from Ipswich. She'd been there a little while, come through like the England junior ranks, and became their first ever professional player. So Ipswich so they obviously thought enough of her to make her their first sort of fully employed player. So I think that's a good sign. But obviously I'll come to you guys and see what you think. What were your sort of thoughts when you saw the news break about Sophie Pescott, Claire?
Well, I mean, honestly, a bit underwhelmed at the moment. Not anything against Sophie. I'm sure she's going to be a great player at some point, and this is a player for the future, not right now. But my issue is we need players for right now. We've needed players for right now for the last 2 years, and we haven't really got them. And I just think, are we going to? Or are we just always going to be the mediocre mid-table team that is planning for the future that never happens? That's what it feels like a little bit at the moment. So,
yeah, I must admit it's an interesting one. I think ultimately we need homegrown players, so I'm not that surprised that we've seen someone like Sophie come in. It's probably more the remainder of the squad who are not being who don't have the requirement to be homegrown obviously need to be improved to facilitate the likes of Sophie to be able to develop and things like that. And I guess my question, maybe Abby, you might want to cover this in while giving our thoughts, but is that she probably profiles quite similar to Bex Rayner from what I've seen of her. So Abby, do you think it could be competition for Bex? Do you think it might be Bex heading out on loan or maybe permanently? Or do you think it's, we're trying to get the best English talent we can get to fill those homegrown spots?
That's a lot of questions in one.
Sorry.
Yes, I think she's competition. I think she's going to be good. She's obviously very well respected at Ipswich. And I do think it is noted, and I think you pointed this out in our little chat as well, that Ipswich actually did a really nice write-up for her when she left. And that's nice to see from a club. Sometimes when players go to a bigger club, you just get it, yeah, she's left, and that's it. But this was really heartfelt. And if you've not gone and read it, go and read it, because it is lovely. And for me, it says a lot about Ipswich as a club. Having said that, again, nothing against her, but I think we, as a fan base, coming off our first trip to Wembley and with a new stadium to fill, were looking at something a little bit more marquee than signing somebody from a lower table, a league below us. And she may well be a prodigious talent. We may well be at the Broadfield next season going, oh, we were completely wrong. She's the best thing ever. And she's banging goals left, right and centre. I really, really hope that is where we are. But in invigorating the fan base, there's not really been much to sort of get us all very excited. Yeah. And we have got to trust the process. And I think I said to you guys earlier on today, it feels very hard sometimes to be a Brighton fan, because you're sort of looking around and going, oh, these people have just signed these very big, names and so on. And I'm not saying we need to be name hunters and so on, but you are sort of looking at Brighton and going, yeah. So back to your many questions. Yes, I think she's going to be competition for Bex. I have had a thought that Bex might be going out on loan for a while. I wonder if that was derailed by her injury last season, and the club felt it better that she recuperates at the club with all of our facilities, because we are, even by WSL standards, we are, fairly well set up for injuries with all of the bits at Lancing and so on. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Bex go out on loan. Having said that, I equally wouldn't be surprised if some of our, non-English players went out on loan, because we are still low on homegrown players, and we need them. So I can't remember if whoever we've been talking about today counts as homegrown, but Sophie does tick that box, and yeah, unfortunately it's a wait and see, and that doesn't fill stadiums, and we've got to fill the Broadfield before we build the annex.
And I would argue as well is like, does Bex Rayner need competition, or is it Kiko that needs competition? Because that's the position that's both Bex and Sophie playing. And at the moment, Bex is not getting anywhere near that. So really, I don't see this as competition for Bex. It's not going to make any difference. Neither of them are going to play if Kiko's fit. These are just filler roles. They're filling like spaces in a squad. And you haven't filled the squad with people you actually need. We still don't have a number 9. It's ridiculous. So, as lovely as all these young prospects might be, we've got an academy full. Why are we buying them off of other people and picking them up off of other clubs? We've already got them. They can't get in the team. So this just feels like a complete waste of time. If you're trying to build a fan base, like Abby says, and you want to fill a 10,000-seater stadium in a few years, with what? What are you giving the fans to get excited about? You've just literally had the best 2 seasons we've had and you've been to a cup final and you've gone, that'll do. Don't need to do any more. What more do we need? We got Fran. That'll do.
I think sometimes the timing of when things are announced and the order of the players that come in and things are not always the most helpful to the fans either. Because I think, for example, if say Sophie had come in just before we announced Valti, then the last thing that would be in everyone's heads for the last 10 days is that we signed Leah Valti. Who's next? Whereas it's kind of like, yeah, we signed Valti, but then our next signing was Sophie, who I agree, she is a prospect. She is a player from a lower division who we're hoping that will come good. And I do think there is an argument that you do need players who are willing to be backups. You want them to be pushing the number one, of course, but to a certain extent, if you buy someone really good, they're going to expect to start. So, if we had gone out and bought, I don't know, say we went out and we got Beth Mead, for example. If we'd have got Beth Mead, then you have to say to Kiko, either, sorry, you're back up to Beth Mead now, or we're going to move you someone else to play in a different position, whatever it may be. And then someone else then gets their position usurped and so on and so forth. So I think there is an argument that you do need squad players. Even like Leah Valti, I think, to be honest with you, may not play every game. Fran probably won't play every game. So to a certain extent, they are squad players because you can't rely on them to play every single match.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think that's 100%. If you field all 11 team spaces,
I think that's the issue. Like I say, is if someone big is coming in, which we don't know. We don't know. I think we were very, very hopeful. I think we're now just hopeful. But it's the hope that kills you, as they say. If someone big comes in, then people aren't going to be like, oh, Sophie was a bad signing, or someone else was a bad signing, and she may not be anyway. I'm talking hypothetically, because you're going, well, we've got a really strong 11 and we've got good backups, and then we've got these prospects who fill out the rest of the squad, and hopefully they can break through, hopefully they get given the opportunity and things like that. But the issue is we don't have a strong enough starting 11 right now, and I think we all primarily agree. We'll talk about this a little bit more in depth later, but we all primarily agree it's because we don't have a focal point of the attack. We have lots of attackers, have lots of forwards, especially with the signings that we've made, but we do not have a pinpoint, a point to our pencil, as it were. Maybe that is Olivia Garcia, but it feels like a lot of pressure to put on her. Coming off basically half a season in the Swedish league. Before that, she was in the Danish league, which is not one of the top 10 leagues in the world. And I think, and I know Ben agrees with me, and from what we've seen of Olivia, she looks like an incredible prospect. But for her to come in immediately and be that feels like a Michelle Adjumang type situation. Where we pin it all on one player, and if something happens with that player or they don't live up to expectations, then suddenly we're out of options again. Or we're looking at midfielders or forwards to score our goals. And I'm not personally comfortable with that. So I think that's the thing. It's like in the broader scope of things, I think Sophie will probably be a good player. Hopefully she kicks on. I think that's what we all want to see. I think we all hoped maybe Bex would have kicked on a little bit more than she has. Because we would like to see those players putting so much pressure on that they're actually getting game time, and at the moment they're not. So something's not going right there. And like you say, with some of the youngsters, they obviously don't need to be registered, so they may get game time even though they're not in the squad. But again, it sort of feels like, why are we necessarily looking outside at 23-year-olds when we've in theory got some good 18, 19-year-olds in our own team? I don't know. That's probably more one for someone with better knowledge of the youth system. But it just feels like it's all almost been done a little bit out of order. And the trouble is we almost needed those big signings front and centre. We've known we needed a striker for, I reckon, about 18 months now.
At least.
Because we knew
before Michelle Adjumang got injured, we all said, who's going to be our number 9? And then we were all like, oh, Michelle's going to be number 9.
And that's what I mean. So
That's
essentially, when Nikita left, we all went, we need a couple of strikers. Now, we got Michelle. It was unfortunate that she got injured, of course, you know, and hopefully she would have gone on to do, you know, bigger and better things throughout the season. But she didn't show a ton for us in the limited time that she had. She had a season before where she was mostly a sub, so that's not really on her. But the season where she sort of started, you could still see she was growing into the role. But we all knew that Michelle, it shouldn't really have been put upon her as like the sole goal scorer. We all knew it should be Michelle and someone else, or, you know, like, well, Nikita would have been a good example, you know, and then you let Michelle learn off Nikita, and, you know, Nikita scores 6 or 7 goals, Michelle scores 6 or 7 goals. There's your sort of 15 goals a season from your 2 strikers, which I think every club would like to at least guarantee that amount. But at the point Nikita goes and we've just got Michelle, I think we were all going, well, who's coming in then?
Yeah.
Because we need another striker. So even from last summer, and that's what I mean, it's almost like it's going back at least a year, if not more, where we thought we need a striker, we need a focal point, we need. Michelle was only on loan to us as well, don't forget.
Yeah.
You know, so there was always a good chance she was going back to Arsenal. So we've known for like at least a year now that we needed a striker. Yet we get to the window opening, we get to the contracts expiring on the 30th of June, and we don't hear anything. And I think that's what has us all kind of concerned, is that it feels like something should have been in the works for a long time. We could have had our pick of players.
Yeah.
Yet every other club is going, we've signed this player, we've signed that player.
That's the frustrating thing, isn't it? Because you're looking at Spurs, you're looking at LCL, don't count. They can buy whoever they want, right? But Spurs, Aston Villa, West Ham, these are all the teams in and around who are going to stop us getting to the 5th spot. They're the ones you're looking at. They're the ones we're really competing with for the next season or two. And they are killing it. They are snapping up players left, right, and centre, players who want to come and play for them. Why are we not? Why are we not even in the conversation? Why? What? You know you need a striker. So why? There's been like 15 of them available. And we all said last year, yeah, fair enough. Maybe we're all waiting for this end of this season because so many people are going to be out of contract, and we'll pick one up on the cheap. We'll get one for free, but maybe a bit more wages. And we haven't. We can't even get Deaf England. Like, it's just mental. It really,
I think that's
you have to think, is it because we don't want to pay the money, or is it because there's something else about the club that people are just saying no thanks to?
I think probably the biggest thing is the money. I think that's the biggest issue. We obviously don't like paying transfer fees, and I don't think we'll be a top wage payer either. I think we'd rather pay the wages than the transfer fee. But I still think we'd be limited on the wages. But my thing is you have to. We spoke for ages about how we would be a brilliant club to come to as a striker because we have no striker. So to me, have we, you know, maybe we have been going out and saying to players, look, it might be a bit less money, but for goodness sake, you're going to play 20. How many games are we playing this season? 26 games. You're going to play all 26 games. You're going to get a really good chance to showcase your talents. You know, a bit like, you know, what we presumably did with Chia, which is say, look, you're going to be our undisputed number one. You're going to play every game that you're fit for, or you're in the country for. You're not away on international duty or anything. So come here. You know, help us get to where we want to go. And ultimately, if we can't get to where we want to go, you can move on. It's fine. You know, but for whatever reason, we can't do that with a striker. Like, and I think obviously a lot of us are holding out, you know, now Beth England is off the table. We've been rumoured to be interested in Emily Murphy, who is another forward, not really a striker, but another forward from Newcastle, who I think is quite highly rated. You know, she's been in the Republic of Ireland team, but she is still kind of in a similar situation to Sophie, where she's been playing for a team in the WSL2. She doesn't have like WSL pedigree. She is young enough to get a lot better. Great. But are we going to actually be able to give her the opportunities to get better? Because we've already got people like Fuka who comes on, plays really well, and then can't get another game.
Yeah.
Ulau came on and played really well in the game against Arsenal, didn't play another game and hadn't played a lot. And that's not for me to question, their methodology, because I know, particularly with Ulau, she played a season already. And I think they were very careful. They didn't want to overload her. And I think she will get kind of like a fresh start this off season. But I'm sort of thinking, well, if you've got those players, you've just brought in Crazy Man, who's another winger. So we've got a lot of wingers and a lot of forwards, but we have not got a striker. So even if we do get this sort of messianic figure coming in, maybe it's Holly McNamara. I think that would make the most sense. Certainly now Beth England's off the table. But even her, she's coming from Australian football. She's about as good a prospect outside of the WSL that you would say she should come in and do really well. But you can't guarantee it. No. There's been plenty of players from other countries who have come over and found it very, very tough and ended up going back or to another European country or whatever. So I don't know. It just, again, this is, I hope that we've got away from the Sophie subject now, because I think Sophie Pesquet, she looks a good player. And I think we hope that she can get enough time on the pitch to show that she can be a threat to Kiko, because that's ultimately what we want. Is Kiko's brilliant, so we want Kiko either on the top of her game, or we want someone who's going to be better than Kiko. That's as Brighton fans, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for someone to sort of sit behind her and go, well, Kiko's got this covered. So, I
think that's the thing. I think as Brighton fans, we're not expecting 5 marquee signings every transfer window.
No.
But one would be nice. And I don't think, for me, Leah Vouty counts as a marquee signing at 33.
No.
Like, she's a great to have around the camp to bring the experience to that midfield. But that's not, if you're talking about you're supposed to be trying to aim for 4th, then your marquee signing needs to be someone like a Georgia Stanway type prospect, a 28-year-old, not a 33-year-old.
Yeah.
It needs to be somebody who's grabbing headlines. It needs to be someone who's like makes everybody stop and stand up and go, bloody hell, what's going on there? And that's going to cost money. And I don't think Brighton want to pay it. And I think that's going to be our downfall every season. Every year, we're going to have the same issue. We're going to do all right, and it'll be just enough to keep everybody at the top happy about it. But the fans will get peed off and will start drifting away and go and support LCL, because it's only an hour up the road. It ain't that far to travel.
Yeah, and I think it's difficult, because we obviously, when we signed Fran, I think people thought this is a real sea change in how we're operating as a club. And
then Nikita came in.
Yeah, Nikita came in.
You were like, okay, this is exciting.
To me, Nikita is like a Leah Vouty, where you go, this makes sense. This makes absolute sense. Yeah. Veteran striker, blah blah blah. I think that's probably what rankles with everyone more than anything about Beth England. Is Brighton may have never been interested in Beth England. I don't know. They don't talk about transfers, so we can only speculate. But
it made sense.
To the fans, it made perfect sense.
Yeah.
Some of these signings now, I think the first few we brought in made sense, and that I think I said that on the podcast before. The ones we're rumoured with now, and potentially, with Sophie, they don't make as much sense, and that's nothing to do with the player, but it's more like, if this happens, it's predicated on if they do that, if they are good, if they get the opportunity. It's lots of ifs. Whereas I think with like Jorimo, Vouty, and even with Heaps to a certain extent, it's not really ifs with them. Like they're experienced enough.
Yeah.
Even Jorimo, who's like 24, she's in and around the Norwegian team. Hammarby, Swedish football is a good proving ground, particularly for midfielders and defenders. Like strikers are, some good, some bad. And Vouty makes sense. It's a veteran head in the midfield to sort of keep things calm and pass on a bit of her knowledge and stuff to some of the younger players. And probably Jorimo is a perfect player to kind of, she might elevate Jorimo from being a very good player to being an elite player because of the couple of things that Vouty can pass on, and so on and so forth. So it makes sense. Kreziman, young winger, plays for Poland. experience in the international game, only 22, free transfer. Great, fantastic. Like, it may not work, but you couldn't say it wasn't for lack of kind of it making sense. Whereas with Sophie Pescott, and I think, with Emily Murphy, if that does happen, the fans are going to need convincing that those were the right moves over someone like Beth England, particularly if nothing else happens. I need to be convinced that we shouldn't have been trying to get someone like Beth England, and we should have been trying to get someone like Emily Murphy. And I didn't feel like that with the first few transfers, but I do with this. And like I said, it's not anything against the player. I hope Sophie Pescott gets in the team and scores 15 goals.
Yeah,
I really honestly do. Like, she seems like a really good player, really good character. Like you said, Abby, Ipswich were really gutted to see her go. They obviously put a lot of time and effort, but I think they were acknowledging that she's ready to move on to the next step. And we all hope that she gets there. And I think it sounds like with Emily Murphy, I haven't done as much investigations into Emily Murphy because it's only kind of come out this evening that we might be interested in her. But again, from what I saw of like Newcastle fans and WSL2 fans and stuff that had commented on the rumour, it was very much like she was a very bright spark for them. And what are they going to do now? Because she was kind of their creative forward and things like that. So that's all good stuff that I like to see. But we could have probably had those superlatives times 3 or 4 about Beth England, who's already been there and done it. And there's not a question mark about whether she can. She already has. So I think that's the thing. We need to be convinced, and hopefully we will be convinced. I hope we're not coming off too negative because we don't want to be.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think that the one optimistic thing, because generally I am the optimist in this little group class, that I think everyone's going to win 4-0. So, I do believe in the team. And, I look at that game against Arsenal towards the end of last season, and that was a complete second string. And to be fair, we should have won that game.
Played really well. Yeah.
So yes, the second string is made up of some very, very good players, of which Sophie, etc., will be, boosting that and making that even more impressive than it was. My issue is not with those players. Those players are great. We want them. We need them. My issue is we don't have 11 first team players that you would pick guaranteed. We have about 8 or 9 that you would pick guaranteed. And then there's a few slots there that you think we need.
Really should be
like,
looking to
we've been
upgrade,
playing people out of position. We shouldn't be having, Maddie and Kiko shouldn't be having to try and play the number 9 role and score goals. Their job is to score goals from the wings and from other attacking positions. But we're having to put all the pressure on them. And if they're not doing it, then all the pressure's on Carla. Like, it's not good enough. We need a number 9. We know we need a number 9. Zoe keeps telling us we need a number 9, and they're aware that we need a number 9. It should have been sorted by now.
Yeah.
It should have been sorted.
And I think that's the big frustration, isn't it? Is we're desperate for a striker. We've known we've been desperate for a striker for a long time, and we still haven't signed a striker. And I think I honestly think if they've got something in the works or they can speed something up, if they've got someone who is waiting in the wings to be signed or announced or whatever, please get it done as soon as possible. Please, because I think we're losing a lot of the momentum that we got from the FA Cup final.
Huge amount.
We need to keep those fans interested. And at the moment, all you can see on Twitter is, we've signed Alexia Putellas. We've signed Mappy Lyon, And obviously Spurs had a couple of weeks where they were like, we've signed Shakira Martinez. We've signed Kirsty Hansen. And we're looking at these teams going, oh God, they're going to be good next season, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then we see a few come into us and we think, and then we're a bit like,
Because you're looking at if Aston Villa have had a clear out of Kirsty Hansen and Ebony Salmon, you're like, no interest there from us. If you're looking for players to push Kiko, surely those are the players that push Kiko, because they are going to want the first team spot. They are going to be like, I can score 5 goals, 10 goals. Let me have a go.
Yeah. Well, I think with Kirsty Hansen, I think Tottenham bought her. but they were first to the punch on buying her, because it was
Tottenham
almost
have done
like
that several times this season. You know, in January they were snapping people up all over the place.
Yeah. Well, then they started announcing players even before the window had opened. So
which should have said something to Brighton that said, "Pull your finger out."
Yeah. So you know, we know it's hard work. We know it's not easy. But you know, I think just for everyone's benefit, like I say, if something's in the works, then please do get it announced ASAP before we lose, you know, even more momentum. And if there isn't anything in the works, please somehow persuade someone to get something in the works, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough with those two teams improving, LCL and Spurs. I actually think LCL probably now should be favourites to get in the top 4. I know they're a team of individuals, but the team of individuals is so good. It would not surprise me if Man United slipped out of that top 4. But I still think they'll finish above us. At the moment, we're staring down the barrel of 7th or worse. I really do think that. You know, and I think the only thing that's going to convince us probably otherwise is either seeing it on the pitch and we're way better than we thought, or a couple of big name signings, at least one. But we'll obviously see.
Because it is so frustrating, because like you say, we ended last season putting the shitters up every single top 4 team. Like no one wanted to play us. And if you look at the results of last season, we barely lost anything by more than 1 goal. Now, if
we only lost 1 game the entire season, was the Chelsea game. Even the Subway Cups that we lost,
so
only by 1 goal.
If we'd have had a striker that could have got 10 goals, we would have easily had another 10, 12 points at the end of the season, and we would have been cruising it, and people would have been absolutely talking about us like we are a top 4 team. And still they're not getting it.
No.
It's, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, the other thing they could do, I mean, this is just off the cuff, but the other thing they could do, if you've got someone that has basically signed, but you know, they're traveling or they're still settling into their new home or whatever, get some teasers out.
Hint at it.
Get some teasers out, like drag it out for a couple of days. As long as it's someone good, we won't mind, you know. So I don't know, we'll see, but we need someone good, and we just need a little bit of, we need something to give us a little bit of faith. So at the moment it's, you know, we're a bit wobbly, and if you can imagine we're a bit wobbly, then you can imagine everyone who just turned up and went to that one Wembley game are starting to go, maybe not.
Well, exactly. You had 20,000 people there that were potential to turn up. If you could have got 10% of them to be so excited about it that they go, I'm going to go and watch next season. They're now looking at the transfer window going, watch what?
Yeah. And that's a real shame, because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, is build the fan base, grow the fan base. You know, and something that our good friend Joe told me very, very, like literally, I think almost before I'd even started SheGulls, was it all comes from the pitch. All comes from the pitch. If you do not have a good team, if you're always at the bottom near the relegation zone, whatever it may be, it's going to be tough, near on impossible to grow the fan base, because no one wants to go and see a team lose or get outplayed on the regular. You know, so and we're just, you know, we're slightly fearful of that. You know, so
there's 2 sort of aspects to it, though. The one side is you talking about if we could convert 10% of the people that went to Wembley. If we did that, we'd fill Broadfield every week. If they bought season tickets, we would fill Broadfield. And so what we needed was a marquee signing, or a, you know, and we'll talk about this later on, but this player's re-signed, or we're all ready to go for next season. Bosh. That should have been in place to go on. And I know we do sound a little bit on the negative side, but for me, it's like if you go out for a meal and you're in a group and in your mind you want pizza and everybody else wants, you know, Chinese or Indian or something else. It doesn't matter how nice that is. You wanted pizza, and you're not going to be happy till you get pizza. And we know we need a striker, and it doesn't matter how good any of these people are. We haven't got one. And that's always going to have us going, it was the same with Maylise when she joined. I can remember sitting here and you saying, "What do you think about Maylise?" And my first thing was, "She's not a striker, and we need a striker, and we've got lots in defence, and she's brilliant, and she's lovely, and I'm delighted she's a member of our team, and I would hate to see her go." But it's that situation 12 months on, it's the same conversation. We need a striker.
Yeah.
And
that's the problem.
Is it really that Olivia Garcia is going to be who we're going to pin our hopes on? Where's the backup? Where's the support? Where's the mentorship? That's why someone like Beth England made sense. Yeah. Fran has gone on her own podcast saying, we need experience. We need WSL experience. So apart from Leah Walty, we signed a 24-year-old, a 22-year-old, a 22-year-old goalkeeper and a 23-year-old winger. Where's the experience that's going to help us? It's that, I think, is what's confusing people.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by it not quite making sense.
Yeah.
When you say it like that, and that would, thank you, Abby, because that was a really good way of putting it. When you say it like that and you lay it all out as the bare bones, it feels like we're signing lots more young prospects and Leah Walty. Whereas that's not really necessarily what we need. You know, like you say, like Claire said, we need finished articles. We do need some prospects, granted. But the thing is, the prospects are not, you know, we're not hearing about London City's prospects or Tottenham's prospects, or, you know, they'll be signing their own players on the down low and bringing players up from the academy and stuff. But they've got these 3 or 4 big names that they can parade out there and say, we've got these players. And as the guys have pointed out, you know, thank you, as always, for being in the comments, particularly Tim and Charlie, you know, pointing out the fact that basically the press totally ignored the fact we signed Leah Walty. They couldn't care less.
There's no interest. It's,
you know, and I feel sorry for Leah Walty because when she was at Arsenal, they couldn't get enough of her. I mean, that's just a problem with.
And that's the only people that have been interested in her is Arsenal fans. They're the only people that have made a comment on us signing her. You know, nobody else has said anything. It doesn't matter because LCL are signing Putellas and Mary Earps. And Leon, you know, then who cares about Walty, you know?
Yeah.
And it's who cares about Brighton? No, Brighton still, despite the FA Cup final, despite everyone talking about us at the end of last season, the media still isn't interested in us because we haven't done enough.
No. No, it picked up a little bit when we signed Fran. And it picked up a little bit when we got to the FA Cup, but the rest of the time,
they're not interested.
No. It's the classic, you know, last on the women's football show and barely get a mention on any of the podcasts and so on and so forth. And sometimes you just have to force people to do it. You know, please don't get, you know, anyone listening to this, please don't get your hopes up. But let's say, for example, we did sign Paraluelo. Then people would go, holy sugar.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Holy sugar. That's one of the best strikers.
If you come up with something
like
that, then, you know, you are absolutely making a statement.
That would force all these podcasts to go, oh, yeah, I know so-and-so signed for LCL, but bloody hell, we've seen what Brighton had done, which is what they did with
she's not a has-been. That's what I'm saying. She is not a has-been. She is a right-now striker.
She's a right-now,
So if you're going to sign someone, that's what it has to be. It has to be a right-now striker or right-now big-name player that makes everybody stop and go, fuck me. Pardon, River. Ignore that swearing, right, River?
Sorry, River.
We'll be chuckling away, don't worry.
Don't chuckle at that, River. You know, so that's what you want. That's what we want. That's all we've asked for. One signing like that where we go, oh my God. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Have a whip round. We'll all put in a £5.
We'll all chip in a £5. Come on.
Charlie said that.
GoFundMe going if we have to.
Charlie said Esther Gonzalez is rumoured.
Well, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
I'm not sure about Keats coming back, Tim, but there's a potential, I suppose. She's got nowhere else to go now, has she?
The only thing with Esther, bless her, is I think she's older than Beth England. I think she's 34. She might be 35.
Yeah.
Still a very good player, though. Still a very good player. Yeah, I'll take
33, according to
33,
the website that I've just very quickly looked up.
There we go. 33. So I was a bit off.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure she's older than older than Beth England. She's going to be 34 in December.
Yeah.
Old
But
Esther,
the thing is, though, with her, she's the first person that I have searched for on the interwebs tonight that says position striker.
Striker, yeah.
Everyone else has been forward or winger or blah, blah, blah,
fit
blah.
back in because she knows the team, she knows the club, she knows the town. We'd get the Keats show back on the road again, which would be brilliant.
Yeah.
And I really think if she does come back, we need media, marketing and media at Brighton need to get a YouTube Keats and Kiko on
with Minami and
weekly
Shinoda
episodes
as well.
with guest stars of Minami and Carla Camacho, because it would be absolute comedy gold.
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be.
But I wouldn't be upset at having Keats back. I've said that kind of since she left, and at the end of last season as well. That she's again what we were saying about Beth England works for her. She's had international experience. She's very experienced in the WSL because she's played for most of the teams. She is that position. She would be a really good person to, nurture a mentor alongside banging in a few goals. Someone. But just going back to Spurs, they had these people signed up at the beginning of the season. So when everyone is looking at, it's a long summer without football. We're going to renew our season ticket. Or what should we do? And then Spurs pop up and go, we've got this one, and Shakira Martinez. Ta-da! And they sort of went, bang, and everyone probably went, go and get my season ticket. And now they've been a lot quieter because they've made that flourish, and their fans are going, that's lovely. We've signed all these
they're just sitting back and going, we're all good. Yeah, we're good.
Whereas we're here with binoculars,
desperately
anybody
clinging
on the horizon,
definitely clinging to any half a rumor that's out there, or because we have hope, and that's the thing. That's I guess what we have to get across is we hope that something's in. We don't know.
Absolutely,
we just have to hope. But I think we all hoped last summer. We all hoped in the winter. There's only so long you can go on hoping before the people that still do support you just become slightly blasé to it, and the people that don't support you think it's not worth becoming a supporter, because when will it change? I think that would be the real shame, is if we just continuously just finish like 8th, 7th, 9th, 8th, 7th. If we're really making a push, we need to really put behind it. And I really do appreciate, obviously, we've got the stadium coming up, which is going to be very expensive. And things like that. So it's not that Tony Bloom isn't putting his hand in his pocket.
No, but that is a choice he's made.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't have to do that. We could have played at the Amex. We could carry on playing at Broadfield. He's decided he wants to spend, 40, 50 million, 80 million, whatever it is, building a specific stadium. And that is fabulous. No one's knocking that. But if you're going to make that decision, you've got to make the decision to build the squad and the team that goes with it.
And I think that's the thing. And I think that is the thing, is when does that start? If it doesn't start this summer, does it start next summer? If the stadium's delayed, does then that delay it for another summer? And I think these are all valid questions.
Yeah. And I think this summer would have been the summer you might have got people more interested, because we would have been, FA Cup finalists. Second really good season finish in the WSL, progressing, got Fran Kirby. There would have been things that somebody might have gone, it's not the team I might have paid for, but if you're going to pay me an extra 20 grand a year, I will come. Thank you very much. Because we're not talking men's football wages here.
No.
The thing is, if we don't push on, next season, we are not going to have the best season ever, because I cannot see us going higher than 5th. I can't see us being higher than 7th, to be perfectly honest. But I can't see us going higher as 5th. So we can't then say to players and supporters, it's been our greatest season ever, because we've had that. That was last year or the year before. We can't even say, but we might go to the FA Cup final because that'll be the greatest season ever. We've done that already. So there's nothing kind of new, unless we win the League Cup, woohoo. But there's nothing kind of new for us to get going for. There's nothing sort of historic to come. We've got a 10,000, and for me, it's the disconnect. We've got 10,000 seater stadium coming, and we are not doing anything to enthuse the fan base to get through there.
Yeah.
And I see there will be, if we don't really do something special on the pitch this season, a lot of the fans that we've picked up so far are just going to go, oh, thank you very much. That was fun watching women's football for a year, but I'm going to go back to the Amex and watch the men because this was rubbish.
Yeah.
This is a bunch of kids who are 3 years away from being a decent team.
But
that's what we're in danger of.
The thing is, women's football has, like, I'm pretty sure that I heard from reputable sources, has the worst retention rate of fans of any sport. Of any sport.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of fans who have been to the Broadfield once and never go again.
Yeah.
And I think
did they try the coffee?
I think that might be what it was. There's something coming up about that later, actually. So that's very interesting. But the thing is at the moment the problems are twofold. One, it's not a good experience at the Broadfield. For like non, we have a good time because we all know each other. We're all used to it. It's banter, right? But as a new fan, it's not a great experience. And then you go and watch the team, and we're probably like we said, let's hypothetically say we're a 7th, 8th place team. So we're probably going to win 2-3 games at home all season. So if you're lucky that you turn up and have not a great experience, but the team win, and you think, I might give that a go. But what more than likely will happen is you don't have a great experience, and then the team either draws or loses. In which case, where is your incentive to come back? Why are you thinking, I really want to do all that over again?
Yeah.
And this is something obviously the club are looking at, and I'm hopeful that there's developments to come in terms of the experience at the Broadfield, because that has needed changing for a long time. There's been incremental upgrades, but it seriously needs an overhaul to try and make it more of a positive experience for the fans. Then maybe you can get away with the odd, like, well, the game was a bit naff, but we had a good time, didn't we? We saw this, saw that, there was this going on, there was that going on, we got free, blah blah blah, But when you get both together, I always relate it to the weather. It's like rain and wind. If it's rainy, put an umbrella up. If it's windy, you can wrap yourself up, you can put a scarf on, whatever. If it's rainy and windy, you're screwed. Because if you put an umbrella up, it blows inside out. If you just wrap yourself up, you're getting wet through all the gaps and stuff. So it's the two things in combination. And I think right now, the easiest thing to do would be to upgrade the team, because we're stuck in Crawley for another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So we can make it nice. We can try and do our best to upgrade it. But no one's ever going to be like, oh, fab day out at Crawley. Like, the best we can hope for is like, oh yeah, there was a few bits and bobs going on. I think that's about the best we're looking for. So then when you go into the game, you want to see something else. You want to see star players. You want to see, which is why we get loads of away fans for when we play Arsenal and Chelsea and stuff, because it's not just Arsenal and Chelsea fans, it's also fans from the locality going, well, I don't really give a monkeys about Brighton, but I do want to see, Georgia Stanway, or I do want to see, Bunny Shaw, or whoever it may be. So it all goes hand in hand. So hopefully, like I say, we have to remain optimistic. We have to keep our fingers crossed that everything's trending in the right direction, but it is tough.
It would be interesting to know in that retention of fans stat or thought, whether that is retaining in the WSL or retaining with the team. Because I think there's an awful lot of fans that follow players and they don't necessarily follow the team. So if we had signed Beth Mead, for example, for as long as she was here, we would have got a whole load of Beth Mead fans turning up at the Broadfield, putting money, behind the bar, and I was about to say buying programs. Silly me. But we would have got all of those players, all of those supporters boosting us for a few years while she was with us. And then when she went, they would have gone somewhere else. Or if she retired with us, we might have retained some of them. But you do get people who follow players, not teams. And again, that counts against us when we are not signing people with those followings.
I mean, from my understanding, it's primarily the WSL, but I think it's a problem literally with the sport globally. The big difference between men's football and women's football in terms of the retention of fans is because a lot of men's football fans are legacy fans, i.e. they're from that place, or their dad supported it, mum supported it, whoever. they are willing to go through the good times and the bad.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who watch women's football, not all by any stretch of the imagination, but quite a lot of them, it's more of like not a fad, because that makes it sound like they don't care about it, but it's something they do. They go along to the games, they enjoy themselves, blah, blah, blah. If they stop enjoying themselves, they stop going to the game. I've been to many Brighton men's games where I haven't enjoyed myself, but I still went back the next week and watched the next game.
Yeah.
Because I've got that thing built into me that's like, you've got to go and support your team.
Yeah.
You've got to go and support your team. And that's how I feel about Brighton women's team. But there are a lot of fans who don't have that connection, don't have that input, where they just think, I'll go while I like it. And when I don't, I'm off.
I think a lot of the issues that women's football has as well is that people came to it off the back of England glory.
Yeah.
So their only experience of women's football at that point was winning. And those players, like that group of 30 players, that was it. So if they were lucky enough to live in an area where a team plays that had several of those players, they automatically went to watch that team. Now, for most of those people, those teams are in the top 4. So they would have gone to games every week, winning a good percentage of the games, and therefore they stick with it and they keep going. But if you watched it and your local team didn't have Lionesses, but you went along anyway, you will only watch it for as long as that team is entertaining you. And the minute it stops entertaining you, it's of no interest, because you came to this sport watching victory and glory, and that's what the excitement was. That's when we were at the terrace watching the Lionesses win, it was a fantastic atmosphere. We wasn't even in a football ground, and we were having such a brilliant time, and it was loud and it was noisy, and people were singing and dancing and jumping on the tables. It was exciting. If you do not create that in your stadium, people aren't going to be interested. It's not the men's game. It's never going to be the men's game. And they need to start getting their head around it, these clubs, and stop trying to treat it like the men's game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a transient audience. It's like going to see a comedian once, and who's got like the latest. I remember people being a bit like that with someone like Michael McIntyre.
Yes.
Loved him. And then basically he did another tour and people were like,
not as funny.
That was kind of the same stuff, or a bit worse than before. Like, and then gradually people lose their fan base a little bit, or they have to do small, whatever it may be. That's kind of how the world works. Unless you've got a personal investment in something, then you tend to care more. And that's the thing with men's football is, rightly or wrongly, people feel very personally invested in it, in their team, not just a player, but in their team. And they're willing to go through some utter awful stuff.
Listen, I'm a Liverpool fan that had to watch Roy Hodgson kill my team.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? No, I'm still there.
Yeah.
Still there.
Well, and obviously, we've got Brighton fans who were, in a stadium with no roof, with temporary scaffolding seats and all that sort of stuff. That doesn't need to be, we don't have to go all over.
Broadfield, though, isn't it?
That's
temporary scaffolding seats.
Bloody hell, yeah. Well, exactly. To be honest with you, it's similar in a way, but like 25, 30 years later.
I mean, maybe that's why we can't be more entertaining at the Broadfield, because if we all got excited in that stand,
it would collapse.
It would sort of disintegrate.
Can we not manifest that?
I've moved now.
Yeah, we've moved. We're in the
we're in the concrete one now. Yeah.
But this is the thing: is you can either have you've got to have it on the pitch, or you've got to have it in the stands. And at the moment, you are asking people to come to, and no offense to Crawley Town, but I am going to offend you a little bit. But you are asking people to go to a ground that isn't ours, that is mostly red, with a temporary stand. And at the prospect for the next season is that we are going to finish no better than 7th. I don't see how you're selling season tickets and investing people to go into that big stadium that we've got at the end.
And that's the thing, right? Because in the men's game, they'd be saying, oh yeah, but you never know, results go away. We could finish like 4th or 5th. If you said that to a lot of women's fans, they'd go, well, Yeah, but I'm not going to come just on a wing and a prayer that we might do better. Like, you're going to have to, you see what I mean? It's not, everyone knows that Brighton are not, not going to get in the Champions League. They're not even really trying to get in the Champions League. They're trying to be a sustainable club, finish it. I'm talking about the men here, finish in the top 10. And that's why they say top 10, because what they want to be is very sustainable. They want to be able to pay back their owner to a certain extent. They want to be solvent in the financial markets and things like that. And they know that realistically, that's probably going to mean that sometimes they're going to finish just outside Europe. And sometimes they'll finish just inside Europe. And, that's what they did last year. But you won't hook women's fans on a promise like you can hook men's fans.
Yeah, because if you look at the players that the men's Brighton team have brought in, there's nobody exciting there. There's nothing like you think to yourself, oh, exciting, Brighton have got done so. But they'll make the best of it, because even in the men's game, not exciting players are still quite good. And they have experience, and they have a pedigree, and they have a sell-on value. It's not the same in the women's game. We haven't got there yet. It's nowhere near it. So we can pick up any player from WSL2 or from the Swedish league or wherever that nobody's ever heard of. And the most likelihood is they'll remain never heard of, because they won't get in our team.
Yeah.
They won't, we've got these players that are already sitting on our bench. They don't even get on for 5 minutes at the end of a game when we're winning 5-0. Not that we are winning 5-0 very often, but, it's like, buy the bloody players we need, and then we'll worry about the filling gaps.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it's much harder to ask women's fans to have faith than it is to ask men's fans to have faith, because there is not the same connection. There is not the same loyalty. And that's not to say that they're not fans or that they're worse fans or anything. In fact, I think women's fans are better fans, to be honest with you. That's why I go to a lot of women's games and not many men's. But it's just it's not the same. You have to prove it to the women's fans, whereas the men's fans, you can try your best and not succeed, and they will come back. They'll come back for more and come back for more and come back for more. If you try your best and not succeed in the women's game, they'll just drive up the road to London City, or drive up the road to Arsenal, or drive up the. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's, hopefully we've covered the majority of it there. I don't think we need go through the team and give them grades, to be honest with you. I think we were sort of thinking before we started the podcast, peek behind the curtain, might not have too much to talk about really, but and that
I was just about to say, I thought this was going to be a short one, so
we were just going to do an hour.
I didn't bring enough coffee. I've had to message Mother for reinforcements, and bless. That's why I disappeared, because Mother was delivering coffee. Thank you, Mother.
And everyone's essentially had to listen to our group therapy session, right?
I mean, you haven't even got to Ben's statement yet. So
I do love the team, and we are excited to see these people for next season.
Yes.
But for the casual people that we could have picked up, they're not going to get excited by names that they don't know. So anyway, can we move on?
I always say that I support the team. Yeah. The club, not so much.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And I think it's on the club to make us all support them a little bit more. Yeah. And hopefully, I can't really give too much information, or because I don't have it, but hopefully, there are changes moving forward that will hopefully make it, give us a bit more investment within the actual club itself. So keep your ears and eyes to the ground anyway. Yes, we'll talk a little bit about the kits. I think probably if Ben had been on the podcast, he would have talked a little bit more about the kits.
To be fair, I'm quite glad Ben's not on tonight, because this might have been a 4-hour podcast.
It could be.
With 3 hours of Ben just ranting.
It could be.
Probably best he's had the night off.
Yes, so they did announce the new kits finally. I think, what are we today? Monday today, aren't we? So it must have been, was it
Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah, some middle of the week last week. I'll get told off by Ben for not remembering the date that it all went live. But I mean, the teaser was a bit weird, wasn't it? Because it was like a half and half. It was a sort of a yin and yang type thing, where like it was half blue with a kind of white half of an ampersand and half white with a half blue ampersand, which I think some people thought might be a half and half kit, or they thought it might be broader stripes or something like that, so that, you know, it kind of fitted in with that. It was neither, basically. It's essentially quite similar to the 2020-21 kit. It's just essentially an all blue kit with a white. I have to get this right, because again, Ben will tell me if I don't get it right. The 2021 wasn't a pinstripe. I think it was, what did he call it? It's like a solid stripe. I think it has a name. But this is basically solid blue with a pinstripe. So it has the little gaps in between the lines of white. So that's the home kit. And then the away kit is essentially the reverse. So it's a white kit with a blue pinstripe. So it also sort of harks back, I don't think it's so much a tribute to the 2021 season as a tribute to the sort of, I think it was 80 to 82 or 80 to 83 when we wore a similar one, which people think of as a classic kit. But I can tell you someone who doesn't think of it as a classic kit, and that's Ben. So let's hear what Ben has to say here. He says, so it's entitled The New Kit. It's perhaps lucky that I'm unable to appear on this week's podcast, where the design of the newly unveiled kit will no doubt be discussed briefly. I have often made my feelings about a similar design worn in the 2021 season, and my opinion remains the same for this one. I've always loved the blue and white stripes that Brighton Hove Albion is synonymous with, and in my opinion, blue with white pinstripes does not fit in with that. It is a very nice looking football shirt, but for me, it is not an Albion shirt. To me, it looks more like a blue-shirted club has added some texture to their otherwise plain design, as Rangers have done with their blue kit this season. I would almost have preferred it if the club was to mark its historic 125th anniversary by wearing the special edition pale blue kit for the whole season. Nevertheless, the main function of a football kit is so that we can easily identify which players are ours, so the design of the shirt that they are wearing will obviously in no way dampen my support for the Albion players who are wearing it. UTA, up the Albion, Ben. P.S. I love the white away kit. There you go. So, Abby, do you want to go first? What's your thoughts on the kit?
I think it's all right. I preferred last year's. To be perfectly honest, I'm kind of with Ben. I think the stripes could be a bit bigger, but it's nice. There's only so much you can do with blue and white stripe. I'm going to have to change my background. My suggestion to the group that the dots in the pinstripes should have been Morse code, spelling out Brighton and Hove Albion, was met with, let's say, not happiness by Ben. Well, I'd have thought
because you also suggested that there were lightning strikes.
Well, yeah, it was at the end of a lot of suggestions. I'm not the biggest fan. It's all right. I'm kind of a bit more upset that the away kit is all white, and that because there is some discussion about whether teams should be wearing white shorts and women's teams wearing white shorts and yada 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 and so on and so forth. I'd be interesting to see what the third kit is. Personally, I liked the lilac, and I would have liked to have got another season out of it. I'm still going to wear it because I've got it. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but then I'm not that upset. And having seen some of the wacky football kits that have gone around, and you only have to look kind of lower down the leagues to see some really weird colour choices. I think it's not the worst it could be, but yeah, I don't think it's going to go down in history as one of the greatest kits that Brighton have had, which is a shame because it's the 125th year.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, before I come to Claire, I would have liked to have seen, if I was going to model it after a kit, I probably would have gone and looked at the 100th kit, which actually Ben wears occasionally, which has the old Brighton crest on it and 100 years centenary and stuff. I would have probably gone more like that because of the classic blue and white. This doesn't. I wouldn't go so far as Ben as saying it doesn't look like a Brighton kit, But I would say in your 125th year and all the celebrations that entails, it should be the most iconic Brighton kit. And I don't think that is the most iconic Brighton kit. I think the blue and white stripes is the iconic one. So that would be my take on it. Having said that, not a massive fan of Nike. So, I think they should do bigger sizes. They don't. That annoys me. So that's always an issue for myself. I also think they do a lot of block colours and stuff. It'll be like, the training kit will be slightly green. The coach's kit will be slightly greener or turquoise. And I don't know, it's all a big block pattern for me. But how about you, Claire? What were your thinking? What was your thinking on the new kits?
Well, I mean, I like it.
Yeah, fair play.
But then I'm not a Brighton fan, so stripes mean nothing to me, really. It's, you know what I mean? It's. I support the women of Brighton, and I've only been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years, so it doesn't really matter about.
And that's a very good point. It's not tradition if you don't. If you
so
haven't.
For me, I'm just looking at it on what does it look like. I think yes, it does. I think it does. I prefer the white.
Yeah, I think Ben certainly does.
And I think maybe the lines, because it's dotted, isn't it, rather than a straight line, it's like little dots.
Which is apparently pinstripe has the gaps.
Yeah, I think they could have been slightly wider, just to really make them stand out. But I like the blue. I like the colour blue that they've chosen. It's much more what I think of as a blue. I think last year's was a little bit bright. The blue, wasn't it? A bit more brighter than that. So yeah, I kind of like it. It reminds me of, like, when I was watching Liverpool men play Brighton in the 80s. It's kind of, that's the shirt I would have imagined that they were wearing.
Yeah. And that was primarily.
Yeah,
when
I'm pretty
they first
sure
had
that was a similar colour. So for me, I like it. I think it could have been worse. It could have been lightning strikes. It could have been. Could have been checkered and awful, but I think it's quite nice. It's you're not gonna lose each other on the pitch. I agree with the girls that I think white shorts is a big mistake for the women's team. I'm not sure how they're going to go along with that. But
I don't know if they will actually wear the white shorts. That would be their choice.
I think also it's about time in this day and age that something was made for women to wear underneath shorts that would alleviate that issue being an issue anyway.
Arsenal had the same situation, and they, as a group, voted to remain wearing white shorts. They were okay with that, and presumably the extra precautions that you might need to take in that instance. But I think there were also other teams who discussed it and said, no, we would want to wear coloured shorts. And I think either way is fine, but it has to be their decision.
Absolutely.
There's no way it should be dictated. So I would like to think that they will be asked.
I'm pretty sure they will. That there was some sort of discussion during the process of coming up with a design where the players were sort of suggested to us, would you be okay with that?
And I should suspect that the change they'll make is probably they'll wear the blue shorts with the white top instead of the white shorts with the white
and
top.
I think that would look equally good. I think as a kit, I think that would look quite good.
And to be fair, some people suggested that.
Like when you look at men's swimming shorts, they have that kind of netting inside to keep all your danglies in place. Do you know what I mean? Like you
don't
could have
work very well, but
you could have something very similar that was for women, at that time of the month kind of thing. But I like it. I think it's all right, and I may well purchase an away kit again.
Yeah, of the two, I'd definitely go for the away kit. I'm slightly concerned I would spill something on it.
There is that.
I prefer it definitely.
Yeah, I think the away kit I just like because I always go to the away games. I know I go to the home games, but I just think there's something special about going to an away game when you go, on the coach and everything, and you're traveling that small group of people. And we are all in it together. I just like if I'm going to wear a shirt, that's probably the time I'm going to wear one.
Yeah. I sort of wonder if they had half an eye on it looking a bit more. We said with the purple one, is there an element, or was there an element of the thinking of that it could kind of be worn a little bit more fashionably?
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder if, it shouldn't really be a factor, but I kind of wonder if there was a little thing where they were thinking, are the blue and white stripes a little bit like would you actually like wear that out
Yeah.
as like a fashionable thing? Whereas like if it's blue with a pinstripe, you could probably
I would wear it. I would wear it.
So I don't know whether maybe that was a bit of the thinking.
Yeah.
And if you look at a lot of the pictures, I'm not sure that there were very many of the players in the kit as a kit. They were all sort of like in jeans and shorts
Chinos
and trousers
and stuff,
and
But they did that last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Trying to make it look like this is something you can wear down the pub.
Yeah.
You can be casual in a Brighton shirt.
My main gripe with this is the same as with all football teams, is that I've been, properly following Brighton for 3 seasons now. This is the 3rd kit that I've seen.
Yeah.
And that annoys me with sports. They take enough money from parents and from supporters. Why do we have to have a new wretched kit every single year? They used to stay when I'm sure when I was younger, back in my day, I was
get 2 or 3 seasons out of one, didn't you?
Exactly. You would get a good amount of seasons. And now you're back to this thing of, the kids are in the school ground with their, prized Brighton shirt on. And somebody walks in and goes, that's last season, that's 2 seasons ago. You now need this one. So they're now going home saying to the parents, I want this. And it's not like it's a 20 quid thing here. I think the cheapest one's like 70, 80, what have you. I just don't see the need for teams to continually change their kit and consumers, supporters being asked to, or not asked, but there is an expectation that you buy the new kit each time. And that is something that sort of wrangles with me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people that really can't. I'm just a skinflint, so I will wait until it goes on sale. I only bought a purple shirt at the end of the last season because A, we were going to Liverpool and I wanted one, and secondly, it was on offer. But that's something that really does get me, and it's like, come on, football teams, you're particularly for the men's side of things, you're looking at a heck of a lot of money to get there, to see the game, to eat food and drink stuff, and then it's another 70 quid for a jumper that's going to change. And for the women's season, you're going to get 22 wears out of this, and then it's a new one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a problem in sport.
Yeah,
almost entirely.
That's not aimed at Brighton in any way. They're just doing what everybody else does.
It's just the sort of consumerism. If someone will pay it, we will charge it sort of attitude.
I also agree with Ben in that the marketing at Brighton needs to go wobble its head.
Yeah.
Putting Marriott away in a home kit.
Yeah.
They missed a trick with that one, didn't they? Ben's 100% right. Missed a trick.
It took me about 30 seconds after he made that joke.
I know.
I was looking at it thinking,
what
have they done? Because he put it up with put the picture up with like a caption. And I was like thinking, have they spelled something wrong? Or and then it just twigged in my head.
And then it clicks, and then
it was a bazinga moment, as Ben often comes up with these little ones. Right. Well, I think we might as well go ahead and go straight on to the Would You Rather portion of the podcast. So bear with me while I bring that up. Just going to move some things about on the screen. So thank you, Ben, for writing in. I was going to say first-time caller, first-time writer, but many times caller and occasional writer, I suppose. So there we go.
Is this the first time we've had a sort of statement from him, though?
I think so.
I think next time it should maybe come with a bit of edict, some pipes and drums in the background, or a bit of bell ringing for, the town crier or something, just for the announcement.
I think you're right. Let's have a look. I may have to move things around a little bit, so let's share the screen. Okay.
Peeking behind the curtain here.
Peeking behind the curtain, so that hasn't come up yet, so that's okay.
Podcasting live.
We're going to bring this onto the screen.
Oh, hello.
I think.
Hang
on, I'm just working out what's the best. That's probably the best.
I think that's the best.
Right. Okay. So there's Would You Rather, but before you answer the Would You Rather, you have to do the Wheel of Misfortune.
Oh dear God.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, bear with me.
Can we just end the podcast now?
When people say, what was your most uncomfortable moment, Claire? I'm going to be like, being put on the spot like this, okay?
Right.
At least
Okay.
you don't have a whole segment with a theme tune about being put on the spot.
That's true.
True.
That's true.
True.
I love how we've all now gone really close to the computer screens and cameras going, what?
What does that say over there? Yeah. I
End your
thought I could hide
answer with-
that, but I can't.
Right.
Right. Okay. So
Nice
Right.
pirate accent. Oh my
Oh,
god.
good lord.
some of these you're going to love, some of them you're going to hate. Okay. So
I'm
right.
not seeing very many I'm going to love here, Duncan.
Oh,
my
probably not. No,
God.
probably not. Okay, so would you rather? So this is question number 1 for the would you rather. Shall I do the wheel first before I ask the question?
Yeah.
That's probably the better thing to do, isn't it? Right, hold on.
You're in charge.
I know I should be, shouldn't I? Right, here we go. So let's start with Claire then. And this will be Claire's. Here goes the wheel of misfortune. Round and round it goes, nobody knows. And it says,
Ooh.
talk in the style of a David Attenborough documentary.
Talk about what are we talking about?
Right, so here we go.
Yep.
Would you rather have to sing Sussex by the Sea over the PA before kickoff, or entertain the crowd for 10 minutes at half time?
Well, I think that in the grand scheme of things, I'd probably rather tell you to fuck off. But if we're going to have to pick and do something, then my only talent would be to sing Sussex by the Sea.
Hooray! Very good. I enjoyed
Thank
that.
you.
I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Very well
I will
done.
be
Right.
here next week making a bigger prat of myself.
Yeah.
Right, now we're going to get Abby's answer, but we need to
Go
see
on
what
then.
Abby's going to do it as.
Oh.
If it comes up the same thing, then we'll do
You're
it.
doing it. If you get the same thing, you're doing it.
Is it the same? I think it is the same. Talk in the style of a David Attenborough documentary. There we go.
Is it the same question?
It's the same question. Sing Sussex by the Sea over the PA, or entertain the crowd for 10 minutes at half time?
Well, Duncan. As I am the sort of person that does know not only the chorus and refrain, which we never sing, I also do know all 5 verses of Sussex. And I don't think I would get to at least 3 before everyone was telling me to fuck off.
It's almost like King Charles was in the room with us then.
There's a new career here. There's a new career.
Yeah, can we remove that one now?
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that one off. Right.
I'm glad I got Mother to bring me more
I can
coffee.
remove that one. Off. Right, here we go. Okay, so right. Let's start with Abby on this one.
All right.
Oh,
Here
let's
goes the
not.
wheel. Let's see what's next. Oh, it's slowing up.
It's green.
Your next sentence must rhyme. So
Oh,
you must start off with a
God.
rhyme.
Ugh.
So the question is, would you rather spend a whole game dressed as Sally, or spend the entire day wearing just the head?
Just a head.
Just the head. So whole costume for 90 minutes, or the head for the whole day?
It might be quite dull to be a seagull. I'd rather be in bed than just wear the head. I think my fame might be for the whole game.
Oh, I love it.
I've now run out of things
That's
to
it. That's
say.
it. No, I'm happy with that. It only had to be the first sentence, but I
Oh,
like
for
the way you
goodness
kept
sake.
it going. There we go.
That was a whole haiku about a seagull costume.
About a seagull costume, yeah. So you'd go for the game wearing the whole costume?
But I think so, yes.
Yeah. I think that's I mean, it depends on the weather a little bit, doesn't it, as well?
I think if you're going to do something like that, as our infamous Sylvie, I think you've just got to go for the whole hog.
Yeah.
You just got to go do the whole thing and really commit.
Yeah.
Also, I think them weird plastic heads that the people sometimes wear,
They're creepy.
I think they're
Ooh.
probably, I think they'd be worse as well, because it must get well sweaty
Yeah.
in there.
Mm.
Yeah, but they do look at that's like, I prefer Sylvie Seagull.
Yeah, they look a bit like they've got some sort of disease, don't they? Those ones? Okay, here we go. Oh, it's going to be the same one again. That's not supposed to be able to do that.
The same one. That's ridiculous.
Okay. Right, your next sentence. I'm removing that one as well. We've had that one twice. Off it goes. Yes, same question to you, Claire.
What was it? Well, I'd rather be.
First sentence has got a rhyme, and it will be: would you rather spend a whole game dressed as Sally, or spend the entire day just wearing the head and normal clothes? I should add, not
Obviously,
just the head.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to go naked tonight, but I got firm instructions that was not to be the case. You'd want to go the full hog until you need the bog.
Do we think it's got a flap? Has it got a flap?
I don't know. I've never checked Sylvie's flap. I'm going to have a look for Sylvie's flap next time.
We'll have to ask her, won't we, next time out? So you're going for the same as Abby?
Yeah.
You'd rather wear the whole thing?
Yeah. Might as well.
Except when the toilet's required. Okay, here we go. This is a big one. This is a really challenging one. This one. And I ummed and ahed about the number of one of them. Should we do the wheel first? I can't remember. Were we doing the wheel first? Yeah, we were doing the wheel first. Okay, here we go.
See what torture we've got this time.
So it's you first this time, Claire.
Oh God! Every sentence
must end with the word allegedly.
All right.
There we go. Okay. So, would you rather take a penalty to save your life against 1 Chimaka Nadozi or 5 me's?
5 of you?
Yeah.
I'll go with 5 of you because I could probably bribe you, allegedly.
It's not allegedly. I can definitely be bribed. I can definitely be bribed. I'll tell you that. So you'd rather take one against me? You think there's a way I could be? You could get around me?
Allegedly, you would take a bribe. Yeah, I'm going with it.
Fair play. Fair play.
Yeah.
Right, here we go then. Next one for Abby. Here we go. Oh, it's just crept over into end your answer with, and that's why I love an insert type of food. So yes, would you rather take a penalty for your life, Abby, against 1 cheer or 5 me's?
So is it 5 yous in front of the goal?
Yes,
or
correct.
5 penalties against you?
5 of me in front of the goal.
Okay. I think I would probably take a penalty against Chia because she's probably used to players who can actually kick the ball properly and play the game. And I think I would be a bit of a wild card. And then if I did beat Chia if I didn't, then I would be dead and I wouldn't be eating anything anyway. But if I did beat her, then I could go and celebrate with a lovely ice cream. And that's why I love ice cream.
Got you.
There you go.
I mean, that
got
would be
there
a
in
good
the
way.
end.
That would be a good way of celebrating.
I'm still riding high from my poem from earlier. So.
I know, that was good. We'll start some sort of book. I do want to know if that was a proper haiku as well. It would be rather good if it was. Okay, so here we go. Next one. This will be for you again, Abby.
Oh.
I haven't had many accents yet. Oh, there we are.
You had to say it, didn't you?
So your answer for this one will need to be given in a pirate accent. Okay, here we go. Now, this is the one I was talking about earlier. Would you rather only be able to drink the coffee inside the Broadfield or only be able to drink the tap water inside the Broadfield?
Who's first?
It's Abby first on this one. Can I just say, I think your mother is going to think you've gone insane if she's listening in the background.
Mother already thinks that. You're all good.
She can't, just to peek behind the curtain before I do this stupid thing. Where my office is, where I sit, and where she is, there's not a full wall there. It had a little arch, and we've just put some bookcases in front of it, and it doesn't do very much for sound at all. And sometimes I do go through, because she sits with the dogs and stops them woofing at us. And I'll go through and she's like, what on earth have you been talking about? So goodness knows what she's going to think tonight. Right, coffee or tap water? I'm trying to decide on the type of pirate.
How many different types are there? It's basically West Country, isn't it?
Yes, but you've also got your Jack Sparrow. Who's just a bit drunk and just a bit like, oh, he wouldn't really care if he had the coffee or the water because he'd be having whiskey or something, you know. So yeah, normal pirate accent. It would be like that, wouldn't it? That's definitely West Country. That's straight out of Clarkson's Farm. I'm not very good at talking in a pirate accent. You go to Hastings for that. Coffee. I'm just going to say coffee.
You'd rather only drink the coffee than only drink the tap water, grim though it is.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
At least the coffee has been boiled at some point.
We said that is true. Yeah, that is a good point. At least it should be edible. Here we go. What's this one? Every sentence.
Oh, we've done that.
We've done that one. Let's remove that one. We've only got a few
if Claire misses out on talking like a pirate, I shall raise a steward's inquiry.
I know. Oh, come on. There we go.
Hey!
Is it the same question?
Yeah, same question in a pirate accent.
Okay. Ahoy, me scrubber. I take the hearty tap over the rancid black brew. Because that stuff's disgusting. And I chuck you over the plank with that because it'd be absolutely vile.
Have you ever done any dram, Claire?
No, and I don't have any intentions of either. This is the most excruciating thing I've ever done in my entire life, and it's only because we're friends I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, well. It's lucky I didn't do any for myself, really, isn't it?
Yes, I've noticed you've got.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Yeah, it's funny that. As the host, I've managed to somehow escape. Okay, so Claire, you're first on this one. And actually, we've got 4 options, and we've got 2 more questions. I don't know which is
worse now.
No.
That works quite well. Here we go. Oh no, I've clicked on it in the actual screen. Here we go. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Okay, I think we can do this one again, Claire.
Because Claire didn't have it.
Because Claire didn't have it. So the question is, and this is where I had to do some homework because I needed Abby to listen to the song. Would you rather, Claire, have an awesome banger of a goal song, but Daniel Powter's You Had a Bad Day plays when we concede, or no music at all? I presume you're familiar with the song.
I had a bad day.
Yeah, you had a bad day. That one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you'd get a really good song if we scored, but that would play if we conceded.
I mean, I don't dislike that idea, quite frankly. That would be like the cherry on the cake, really, and that's why I love cake.
And that's why you love cake. I think we all love cake, don't we? We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's remove that one and see what Abby's going to get for this one. Okay, I like this one. Use a word from another language in your response. So,
Abby,
same question to you, Abby. Would you prefer the music for both or no music at all?
I would say music for both would be très joli.
I know
what that's what you're getting.
That's all you're getting.
Wait.
Two trips to France this year, and that's all I can say.
Yes. Yeah. Je suis fabulous.
We'll take it. Okay, here we go. So let's remove that one. So it's only one more each, one more question.
Oh,
What
God.
are we going to get? Okay. I think it's Abby to go first for this one.
Oh, yay.
It's one of two things. And it is going to land on tell an awful dad joke before you start. So I did ask for jokes to be prepared.
I don't remember you asking for jokes to be prepared, Duncan.
I feel like you can come up with one if I stall enough.
My mind. This always happens. My mind goes blank, and I can't remember anything. Like which of our players come from the Netherlands or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Toxtith is still in Holland or something. Awful dad joke.
I had one the other day where so I just needed the name of any women's football player, and my brain just went, "You don't know any," and I went, "I do, I know loads of them. I'll think of one right now." My brain was like, "No, I don't think you've ever watched it."
Okay, one that's topical because it is the Tour de France, and Ben and I are both cycling fans. We've been watching it. Why can't a bicycle stand on its own?
I don't know. Why can't a bicycle stand on its own?
Because it's too tired.
That is a good dad joke, though. I like it. That's
Yeah.
very and topical too. So
I know.
I think you could almost call it satire.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
borderline.
Well, unless somebody falls off their bike, the Tour de France is pretty much over, and there's still 2 weeks to go. The guy who's leading, it's got a very big win, but got a very big lead. So
your question: would you rather have to stand up and shout "Oh, bravo!" for every shot on target, or blow a loud raspberry for every shot that goes off target?
Can we do both?
I'm fairly sure that most of the people that watch this or who know me will instantly know that my answer would be standing up and shouting, "Oh, bravo!"
Oh, bravo.
with every single shot. And in fact, I might, seeing as I'm sitting with next to Claire, I might do that next year to see how many games it takes before she gets utterly fed up with me doing it.
No, I'll absolutely join in.
Join in, yeah, we'll
Right.
get it going.
Absolutely join in.
But it
We
has
have
to-
let's get everyone doing it.
It
Yeah.
has to be done in that proper, like, you can't just go,
Oh,
"Oh,
bravo!"
bravo!" mate. It's got to be proper, like Jeeves and Worcester, you know.
Yes.
Bravo,
Absolutely.
Jeeves.
Let's do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Let's
absolutely.
do it.
Okay, there we go. We started a whole new trend just from that
Absolutely.
one question.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. So that means Claire. I'm spinning it round, but I think we know
I'm not sure it needed a spin.
We're just to make it official, you know, just in case people think it's a
in case,
fix.
you know, there was a tribunal or something.
Yeah. So Claire, same question to you, but you must mention a variety of biscuits somewhere in your response.
Right, could you just repeat the question so I can
Okay.
think
Would you
about
rather
biscuits?
have to stand up and shout, "Oh, bravo!" for every shot on target, or blow a loud raspberry for every shot off target?
Well, I think it would be rather Bourbon if we didn't actually stand up and shout, "Oh, bravo," and get our digestive systems moving and, you know, be all excitable with that. So, yes, I'm very much in favour of any kind of chocolatey delight.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm
Come
definitely
on.
doing Bravo, though. We're
Come
doing
on.
Yeah, no, we got that, Duncan. That covers dad joke as well as biscuit.
dad joke. I had a good dad joke. Well, actually, I think it's better than a dad joke.
Go on then.
Go on then.
I don't know. River, close your ears. What is the definition of blue tack?
I don't know. What is the definition of blue tack?
Smurf shit.
Oh, there we
Okay.
go.
That's one for if the oldies. The oldies will get it.
I love it. I love it. Right, let's take that off the screen now. We don't need to see any more of that, do we? Let's if I can work out how to do it. It's that. There we go.
There we go.
But we've got some lovely, good dad jokes in the comments.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's plethora. Yeah. It was a spare, I guess. Yeah. Raspberry. Yeah. Maybe Bravo
Yeah.
from eating Oreos. Yeah. I like it. Like it. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. I felt like someone would say, "Oh, I love sausage." I don't know why.
Sausage.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wrong sport.
What do we go for? Cake and
Not many women in this game that love
cake
sausage,
and ice cream.
mate. Trust me.
I
Well,
was going to say
I thought it'd be
probably wrong
funnier.
audience as well.
I could make another joke, but I won't. So there we go.
It's
Just
after 9 o'clock, isn't it? Yeah, we're all right.
it's just a bit of fun. You know, we've got to, when it's the off season, we've got to really, you know, especially when we're not signed anyone or anything, we have got to sort of delve into the archive. So yes, hopefully that can come back. Maybe I'll think of some better forfeits, and you know, I think if we could have had Ben doing a few of those as well. That
If you get Ben doing a pirate accent, I'll be in hysterics and not be able to finish the rest of the pods. It'll be done. It'll be done.
We need to get his opinions on the new kit in a pirate accent.
Yes. Next episode.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. We'll tell him it's a forfeit for missing an episode. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Right. Well, with all that mirth and mischief, I think that's going to bring us to the end of this week's show. It is a little bit shorter than usual, so I hope, you know, all you folks out there, you know, going to make the most of that extra 20 minutes of your life you'll get back.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know I had a couple of nice messages this week from people saying they appreciated it on long drives they had, especially as we had there was a bit of an issue with episode 101. So episode 101 and 102 came out at the same time. So it gave people a nice 4-hour block of SheGulls. So yeah, good on you if you managed to get your way through all of that. So there we go. Of course, remember you can find us on pretty much all the social medias at SheGulls. That would be particularly on X, Twitter and Instagram, run by the friend of the pod, Steve, over there in Munich. Thank you, Steve. You can obviously find us at SheGulls.com, where there is links to all our other areas of interest and a couple of recent articles. Hopefully another article coming soon. I was about halfway through writing it, and then we didn't sign Beth England, and I thought I'll blow this for a game of sticks. I'll finish it another day. So you know, so there we go. So these little things are important to me. So there we go. But keep an eye out for it soon. Just kind of rounding up the signings so far and going through them. So we may even have another one by the time I actually get round to finishing it off. You never know. We're also on Facebook. You can go over there and visit SheGulls Podcast. Just type in SheGulls Podcast, it should come up. And whilst you're there, do give Brighton and Hove Albion fans a follow for more general Albion chat, I should say. Also, shout out our Patreon members. So Jess, Ben and Angie, thank you very much for your support, and to all our other supporters. And before I forget, the SheGulls, I said SheGulls last week. SheGulls over Sussex are doing a quiz night at the Crossbar. Tickets are on sale now. I believe it's SheGullsoversussex.co.uk. Head over there. You can get, I think it's £20 a team, and you can have up to 6 people in your team. The money does go to the Albion Foundation, so please do support if possible. And I'm 99.9% sure I'll be there. Claire can't make it. I don't know about Abby. We'll see how it goes, but I should be there at least, and a few other familiar faces. So Lucy and Joe from the Fab and everything. So yeah, even if not all the SheGulls can make it, you'll still see some familiar faces. So there we go. All that remains for me to say then is a massive thank you to you, Claire.
Thank you.
An enormous thank you to you, Abby.
Thank you.
And I shall say this has been the SheGulls podcast. Good night, everyone.
Good night, River.
Night, River.